you're in the gun game at all, I'm sure you remember the Roland Special when it first came out. It was the hotness. A pistol with optic, light, compensator, all in a compact package that was portable and you could carry it reasonably so. A lot of capability for what was in that size. Of course, it wasn't really particularly cheap to set up, and even if you wanted to set up something like that today, it would be expensive. Like, this is some of the equation without the comp. We'll get to it. The Roland Special pretty heavily influenced pistols from the time it came out all the way until today, because even if you don't see the complete formula, you're seeing optics on a lot of pistols, lights on a lot of pistols. Compensators are becoming more and more common. So its influence was pretty outsized for what it was. One of my friends was talking the other day and going, Jay, what if we set up a Roland Special, but we did it more inexpensively? Could we do that, and how cheap could we do it? Because if you look right now, and I just priced out as of today, like literally I went upstairs, priced it out on the internet, to set up a Roland Special right now is about $1,924. Throw in a few miscellaneous things and you're talking $2,000, all to set up something like this, but also with a comp. What if we could do it for less? What if we could do it for less than half? Half! Can we? Will it have the same capabilities as the original? Could it possibly be better than the original, given the fact that the original is now dated and we're working with more modern things? Well, I bought a bunch of parts. We'll find out, so stick around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are the parts that mostly comprise my build. I'm gonna have to go back and add the magwell to my total price, by the way. I forgot to put that in there. That aside, these are the parts that I chose to get to do this build. It was as inexpensive as I could make it and hopefully still work, hopefully. The price sheet right there, I'll put the items and their cost, but somewhere on the screen. Back to what I was saying, if I wanted to put together a real deal Roland Special with all of the parts that were originally spec'd on that one, right now would be almost $2,000. The sum and total of the parts sitting here right now, right around, I think, $830, because like I said, magwell too, but we'll get into that. PSA dagger lower was my build, or at least the foundation of the build, has a reasonable reputation. Everyone says that they work. Now you're probably saying, Jay, why didn't you just buy a complete dagger? And I could have, but the Delta Team Tactical slide was slightly cheaper, about $25 cheaper than the total price of this. So a dagger all told somewhere between $350 and $390 depending on the day that you buy it. And this slide complete was right at, let me look at my notes, with taxes, shipping, everything, $233.64. So at a minimum, probably saving about 25 bucks and maybe 50 bucks by going with the Delta Team Tactical Slide. I'm offering options, and so understand that any one of these items, if you're like, hey, I would do this, except I would swap out the more expensive piece, I totally get it. Right now, this is just like, if you get into the mental exercise of how cheaply can I do this, what is the absolute cheapest I can do it, these are those parts. So in a second, I'm going to start screwing them together. Those of you who are familiar with YouTube know that me doing that is going to run afoul of their system. So I'm not going to do that part on camera. I will still record that video, and if you want to watch the completely unedited version, I will post a link to that. I'll probably put it on Rumble. Rumble doesn't care what you do as long as, I don't know what their terms of service are, but they're pretty darn loose. So yes, I have a Rumble. Yes, there's 4 videos on it. No, nobody ever watches Rumble. That's why we're on YouTube. I know YouTube, people complain about their terms of service, and I get it, I dig it, but at the end of the day, it is YouTube's service. Like, they can say, hey, you can't do X, Y, and Z on our service, and since it's their service, that it is what it is. So in the interest of trying to not run afoul of them, I'm not going to show this part on camera. In a second, maybe I'll cut in some kind of montage in the middle, and then we'll have an assembled gun. But for the rest of you guys who are sticking around for the long form video, or if you go over there, here we go. YouTube audience, so welcome back everybody. The build is completely done. Yeah, I had a few hijinks, but not too many. It was a bit of a pain here and there. That's what happens when you screw together low-cost parts from a bunch of different vendors, but nothing insurmountable. In hand, this feels very nice. I'm very curious, obviously, to see how it shoots. And I'm going to probably get a little recoil meter so that I can find out what this comp does, because everybody's all subjective usually when it comes to comps. I would like to be 100% objective, and the only way I know to do that is to put some sort of measurement on this. So I am going to attempt to actually measure recoil, give you some raw numbers. Hopefully that'll work. I'm also going to do some slow motion video so you can see muzzle rise or lack thereof. You know, for a quote cheap gun, this thing doesn't look bad. I'm very curious to see how it shoots. Very, very curious to see how it shoots. Especially, guys, this barrel, talk about unknown provenance. Delta Team Tactical offers some really inexpensive stuff. God love them. I have no idea where this barrel came from. It is probably not going to have the same accuracy potential as a KKM. I don't know. At some point I probably will bench shoot this at 25 yards to see what it does. It might be amazing or it might be awful. I don't know. We will certainly see. Wish me luck for that part, and now I'll get to the conclusion. Thanks for putting up with the build portion of the event. All right, so there you have it. 810 bucks. Will it work? I don't know yet. We're going to find out in part 2. Could this be awesome? Could it be like the best thing ever? I don't know. People have said good things about the dagger in general. So from that perspective, I suspect that the lower is going to behave. I know the Hollow Sun is an excellent optic. I'm going to say something that is mildly heretical. Some of you might balk at this, but the Hollow Sun 407C is a better optic than the RMR any day of the week, twice on Sunday, and I can go into the reasons why some other time. But really, for lower cost, in some ways, I've come ahead. The Phoenix GL19R puts out the same amount of lumens, or actually slightly more, and similar candela. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an excellent optic. It's rechargeable, and in my opinion, it works better than the Surefire and takes up less space. So already we've got two things, in my opinion, that are better. Like I said, some people are going to flip out for me saying that. They're not going to be happy with me saying this. Does the gun run? That is the great unknown. Schrodinger's gun. It goes bang and doesn't go bang all at the same time. So until I get to the range, which is going to be sometime this week, we have no idea how this gun is going to behave. Is this comp as good as a KKM comp? Probably not. It's one chamber. But the new hotness in comps right now is the Radian. Everybody is loving those and ranting about them. And to be clear, the Radian is a beautiful comp. It looks OEM, like it sits super flush with the slide, so that I tell you, unless people are looking really close, they might not even realize you were running a comp. The Radian, all told, is 400 bucks, and that's if you can even find it. I've had one on back order with Brownells since, I want to say, November. One day I would love to be part of the Radian crowd, but I'm not yet. In the meantime, this Strike Industries comp, you can buy it right now. There's no wait. They're in stock everywhere. So from a pure availability perspective, that may be better. Now, once again, is this, Mom, I want Roland Special? And Mom goes, son, we have Roland Special at home, and this is Roland Special at home. Maybe. I might put a magazine in this and it might just choke. If that happens, I will definitely let you guys know. But I don't know. For what it is, like I said, it's not a bad looking gun. And if you don't shoot much, but you just want something pretty, you just built this one for 810 bucks. Now, if you want to go higher dollar, if you've got more money, heck yeah. I'd say spend that money, get better parts. But I think you can get a lot for a very small amount of cash. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to do a part 2, but I got to get on the range. I got to do a lot of measurements, and I want to do at least the build video first, just so you guys can see, like, you can get a lot of gun for not a lot of money. Even if we dump all of the accessories, the slide plus the lower itself was like 350 bucks. And it's a Gen 3 Glock clone, and some people are opining, and I might actually have a similar opinion, that the dagger may actually be better than a Gen 3 Glock in terms of overall functionality and what you get. Undercut trigger guard, better stippling, I think a more ergonomic grip. Everybody here knows, guys, that friggin' Glocks are about as ergonomic as a brick. I don't know, you could do worse. Hopefully this has been entertaining. Hopefully you'll stick around for part 2. I promise to do that in rapid succession. I'm not gonna leave you hanging more than hopefully a week. But like I said, I got to get on the range. I got to do some measurements. I'm going to have to probably compile some numbers, do some slow speed photography. And man, guys, that eats up time. So please be patient. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. All the likes and subscriptions. I super, super appreciate every single one of you guys. If you put a comment anywhere, I do my level best to respond back, unless it is completely nonsensical, and I may respond back to that too. So if you have any questions or anything, I got you. Just put them in the comments. If you think I'm a moron and this was awful, I get it. Put that in the comments too. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Get 'em, Jay.